Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Bahashem, and the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, although I should not hold the tongue. And I say Barakathon to the elders and apostles, Wa'aki and Wa'akwa, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of the earthquakes in diverse places. News updates as of April the 28th, 2026, on this Tuesday night. And this is the book of Luke 21 and verse 11. It says, "And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and famous sights and great signs shall be from heaven." Right, so we're going to see the uptick of earthquakes in diverse places. So I'm going to check the Usgs.gov earthquake tracker. So you had a total of 46 earthquakes was recorded from April the 27th all the way to the 28th. And you had a 4.5 earthquake over in Hafu of Tonga, 4.9 earthquake in Tonga, 4.9 earthquake in the Philippines, 4.6 earthquake, 104 kilometers east to southeast of Kuquake, China, if I pronounced that right. And then you had a 4.5 earthquake, 131 kilometers west to northwest of Nafio, Tonga. 4.7 earthquake recorded, 86 kilometers east and northeast of Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea. 4.9 earthquake, 200 kilometers south of Alhonuya, Tonga. 3.4 earthquake recorded, 29 kilometers northeast of UT Park of New Mexico. Then you had a you had a 5.2 earthquake in the Fuji region, and 4.7 earthquake in 70 kilometers west to southwest of San Antonio, Chile. And then you had a 4.8 earthquake in 8 kilometers west of Skeletos of Greece. 4.7 earthquake 10 kilometers east and northeast of Algorelaski of Greece. And you had a 4.8 earthquake 152 kilometers south, 152 kilometers east and southeast of Calipio, Papua New Guinea. 4.8 earthquake recorded south of the Kermadec Islands. 4.1 earthquake 68 kilometers southwest of San Antonio, Chile. Then you had a 4.9 earthquake 75 kilometers east and northeast of Nadia of Japan. And then you had a 3.2 earthquake recorded 69 kilometers northeast of Cruz Bay, U.S. Virgin Islands. And then you had a 4.7 earthquake recorded 184 kilometers southeast of Valley Ski of Russia. Once again, this is Luke 21, verse 11. Yahweh Shai speaking in red letter. "And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places." Right, so more and more of modern day earthquakes in various places and diverse places. It says, "And famines and pestilence and fearful sights and great signs shall be from heaven." Right, which Yahweh Shai is going to show forth that on a daily basis. And this is the book of Psalms 18. Yeah, the book of Psalms 18, verse 7. It's the book of Psalms 18, verse 7. It says, "Then the earth shook and trembled, and the fountain." This is also his movie shaking because Raph, right? Father, he's in righteous and balanced power. You look up the definition of Raph. Look that up for edification's sake. Define Raph. Right. It says Raph, angry. Right, because Heavenly Father's angry with the wicked every day. And that's why he visits the earth with the earthquakes with that. Yep, Psalms 18, verse 7. "Then the earth shook and trembled, and the fountain." This is also his movie shaking was Raph. And this is the prophet Isaiah, chapter 29. Yep, this is the prophet Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 6. I'm just bringing out some precepts along the way. This is the prophet Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 6. "Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake, right? That's the key word, earthquake, and great noise and storms, attempts to fight by fire. And this is book of Second Ezra, chapter 9. Second, Second Ezra, chapter 9, and verse 2. It says, Then thou shalt understand it is a very same time wherein the highest was Heavenly Father Yahweh will begin to visit the world which made. Right, so the prophet Ezra mentioned that the Heavenly Father Yahweh of hosts is going to visit this earth now, so like what you made, especially with the uptick of earthquakes, which we're seeing on a daily basis. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. It says, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, uproars before. Right, so we're going to see, there's going to be seeing more earthquakes of him visiting earth with the earthquakes. We're going to continue to see that increasing. So I'm going to check out some news articles, these latest earthquakes, because I already checked the earthquake tracker already. Slovakia. See if I can exit that. It says a magnitude of a 2.8 earthquake shakes Sacramento region near the Grantina Bay. Check out a few of more of that. Yeah, so those just recent earthquakes. And then it was a 4 point. It says, check this like check this from AOL. This is from April the 27th, 2026 at 6:55 p.m. Published by Agro Laria from AOL.com. If I pronounce that name right, it says California rattled by a 3.4 earthquake. I mean, even though that's just a small earthquake, it says California rattled by a 3.4 earthquake after an unnerving weekend of tremors sparks of fear of a big one. Right, and they've been mentioning that for a very, for I would say, for the past couple of years, and as recently, as they mentioned about the potential, especially throughout last year, because you've been seeing a heightens of heavy swarms of earthquakes. Like the northern part of California, like the southern part of California, like the San Diego County, uh, like outside the Bay Area, like the northern part of the Bay Area, like near the Bay Area, you know, and from like the southern California and northern part of California. You've been seeing these heavy swarms of earthquakes, especially over there in Malibu, near Malibu, I believe. And then like the eastern part of the Bay Area, and then like the southern part of the San Francisco area. We've been seeing heavy earthquakes, aftershocks of it, tremors that have been increasing. So we're going to be seeing more signs of that as it, like the San Andreas, like the southern part of San Andreas in California, because they have a lot of experts. A potential larger earthquake might occur. It's like what was it, like 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. It was about like 3.5 years ago. It was like a ocean area outside of California that got hit with that major earthquake. I believe it was like a 6.1 or 6.5, if I'm not mistaken. And then you had that large earthquake over there in Malibu as well too. And then that larger earthquake, I believe it was like a close to like a 5.7, 6.0 near I think like near California, not too far near California, and like close to the state of Los Angeles. So as it's getting closer and closer of a potential larger earthquake, it might be like a 7.1 or 7.5, like the San Andreas fault line in that region, because you've been seeing more heavy activities with that titanic plate up down there in Southern California of San Andreas. It says the quake. It says a 3.3 magnitude earthquake rattles parts of California on Monday, following 8 days of concerning tremors across the weekend. It says the quake struck in the Redland area, measured of a initially 3.4 around 7.5. I mean around about 7:45 a.m. with a depth of just over 2 miles, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. It says this comes after days of small quakes. It says with social media users expressing concern following numerous of movement across California. Scientists and nature added that while some dismiss just another day in California, others debating whether these frequent small quakes are a vital pressure release of a terrifying countdown to a major scientific event. It says that on Sunday, two earthquakes occurred just minutes apart off of the San Francisco coast. It says it just comes after scientists and a prompted Southern California university has warned that a fast moving variant of earthquakes could produce more violent and shaking over large areas, typically tremors, arguing that California should update its emergency planning. It says reflecting any greater risk. Because I remember that, I think it was like a couple months ago. It was over there, like, I think it was over there in the Valley area. It was like outside the Bay Area, because it was like a train station. Because I remember that like it was yesterday. I think it was like a couple months ago. It was like in early February, early January, or February, if I'm not mistaken, over there in the Bay Area, outside the Bay Area. They had like I think it was like a 5.1 earthquake. They had heavy shakings of it, and they felt it at a train station because a train station had like an alert to like people to like exit out the train station. So that shows you that you know for the past couple of years and recently you've been having even though it's like small tremors and earthquakes as they potentially getting in for a larger earthquake over in the southern part of California, over in San Andreas. It says the potential of danger is relevant for California because many of the state largest cities lie along the fault line, and many of which are strike slip, which are a strike slip and vulnerable quakes of magnitude 7 or stronger, according to the 2025 report of the USC statewide California Earthquake Center. While California is like it is no more like to have a super here earthquake than others, similar regions, and with the large fault systems like San Andreas, is that the threat has gone unnoticed far too long, says Uridy Ben, ZION director. Sound like he a small hatter. Director of the SCEC, the frequent of these superhero raptures and greater um, appreciated. It says just in a 3.4 earthquake shook six parts of Southern California. The epicenter was near the Red Man, California. Do you feel it? Right. So potentially of a larger earthquake. Oh man, oh, thought the connection was good. That was bugged out. Yep. So meantime, back to the scriptures. Second Ezra chapter 9 verse 3. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, upwards people will rise some more increasing earthquakes and upwards people will as potentially of a larger earthquake might hit over there in San Andreas, Southern California. So I believe, what was that last year over there in Limor, when they got hit with that large earthquake back then, like a couple of years back, I think it was like 3 years ago, when they got hit with that large earthquake over there. I think it was like a 7.2, 7.3, and then it caused a lot of significant damage over there. And then, as of recently, Mike Moore was saying that potentially it might have a larger earthquake over there in the area as well too. It's like over there in California. So these are signs because it's gonna be like certain places where you wouldn't expect to have like earthquakes in diverse places. That's why the scripture says there should be seen, earthquakes in diverse places because it's gonna be more certain places that you wouldn't expect to get hit by an earthquake in a very long time, or you wouldn't expect it in certain areas that is not known to have earthquakes. So we're going to be seeing more signs of that in different parts around the world in diverse places. It says verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, upwards people will, right? So, more uptick of earthquakes. Get to that Matthew, the 24th chapter and precept. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 7. Right, just like that large earthquake hit over there in Japan. I think it was like a week and a half ago. It was like a 7.7. And then it had an aftershock of it as well too. Just like a couple of days later, they had like a 6.1. Yeah, 6.1. And then like a week and a half ago over there in New Zealand, they had like a 6.0 earthquake. So these are uptaking signs that we're going to be seeing more earthquakes in various places and more earthquakes in diverse places. But definitely over there in Southern California, it's getting closer to us. It's getting closer and closer potentially for a larger earthquake over there in San Andreas, Southern California. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in various places, right? That's the key word, earthquakes in various places, and increasing uptick of earthquakes in diverse places. And this is another precept. This is the Gospel of Luke 21. Yep, this is the Gospel of Luke 21 and verse 11. It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, right? So more and more uptick of great earthquakes in diverse places. And famines and pestilence and fearful sights and great signs shall be from heaven, right? Because that follows and ensures these plain beginning and powerful works and the effects of signs. That goes right along with the uptick of earthquakes in various places and diverse places. So with that, hopefully this sit down lesson was edifying of the earthquakes in diverse places as April the 28th on this Tuesday night. So hopefully this was edifying. And with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father, that your name is Yahweh, and his begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushai. Those are the two names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash tongue. And I say Barak Thumb to the elders and apostles, Wa'aki and Wa'akwa. Until next time, I would say Kum Yashralan and Baba Shalom.